Alright, what's up guys, it's Nick Wright, and check this out. If you're not on the NWB page, it's literally just facebook.com/Nick Wright Bodybuilding. It's in the info box right now, it's in the info box of every video. You go to it, right? And that's literally our team page, like that's the interactive page. That's questions and answers, posts. Anyway, for those of you who are on it, I posted a status up a little while ago. It's like 1 o'clock at night. And I was like, I'm bored, ask me anything and I'll answer it on video. And I tried like 3 times to do it on the webcam, and for whatever reason the webcam wasn't cooperating with me. So, starting at the top. So number 1, thoughts on Zyzz, or Zyzz, depending on how you pronounce it. Alright, obviously I have to say I love Zyzz or else the web is going to eat me alive, right? No, realistically, I obviously watched Zyzz's videos like everybody else did, and I liked his whole persona. I liked what he stood for. He kind of gave me the idea that he was all about basically just being confident and enjoying life to the fullest, kind of doing whatever you felt like doing, obviously, you know, without hurting others, but doing whatever you felt like doing at that moment and not worrying about other people's judgments or opinions. And that's what he did. And obviously he incorporated his own physique, which he obviously worked to mold his own self-image. He incorporated that in there, and that's a pretty cool thing if you really think about it. I mean, you can look at him as a guy who was just acting a fool on camera, but realistically, he was portraying exactly how we should be living. Maybe not necessarily partying that hard, but like the idea that we shouldn't be worrying so much about other people's opinions. And obviously, you know, building up our own physiques and molding our own self-image to create that confidence. So I'm going to eat eaten alive for this, but this is my own personal opinion. I actually was never too big of a fan of his physique, though. And obviously, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of the big mass monster look anyway. But even as far as aesthetics go, this is just me. I personally felt like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of other people that are more grainy and aesthetically, is no disrespect. He had a beautiful physique. I mean, he had a better physique than I do for sure. I felt like his abs were a little bit kind of smooth though, as opposed to being chiseled and like bulky. But yeah, that's just me. I guess we all just look for different things. But obviously, the bottom line is the dude was aesthetic as can be. The dude had a sick looking physique overall, despite whether or not it's up my alley as far as physique preference goes. And like I said, the persona of Zyzz is what really counts there. So that's my little spiel on Zyzz. Felt like I owed him that. Rest in peace. Oh, and he complimented me one time. Zyzz complimented me. Somebody on his form spring or whatever it was, I wasn't on there, but I was told about this, asked, what do you think of Nick Wright? And he called me a sick cunt. Yeah. Oh man, he knew who I was. I'm giddy. Anyway, does it suck being a manlet is question number 2. Well, your girlfriend doesn't mind it, so relax. What do you think about your haters? I love them. I want to pet them all. They're cute. I don't really have haters. I just have fans in denial. Favorite hamstring movement? Laying down leg curls or seated leg curls? Because you can like literally just crush the hamstring like a bicep. I do like straight leg deadlifts, but I've only been using them for about a year. Let's see. Bringing up biceps in size compared to the rest of the body. Check out my biceps and triceps video, brah. I can't just give all the information out in this video. I mean, I have videos on this stuff. You gotta be subscribed. You gotta do some of the work here. Let's see. From Reed Harris. Does Reed Harris even lift? In parentheses, please say it serious. I think I banged that one out for you, Reed. What are your thoughts on CrossFit? I'm back and forth on CrossFit. Alright, number 1. I'll start off by saying, hands down, it is the pinnacle of fitness, like physical fitness. Like, it's intense. Those athletes are in far better shape than I am right now. The amount of endurance they have, mixed with the amount of strength they have, is impressive. So I give CrossFit athletes my full hat off. Big props to you guys. I admire that. The things I don't necessarily like about CrossFit is it kind of doesn't allow you to optimize either strength nor endurance. Like true straight out endurance athletes obviously don't really do any major strength training, because obviously that's going to interfere with it. They kind of sacrifice the strength training and just go right for endurance. And vice versa. Strength athletes obviously are limited on endurance. Well, CrossFit kind of tries to max out both of them, but because of that, it kind of limits you on both of them. That, and there's no real structure to it. It's kind of like just get up, do 5,000 push-ups, then do 5,000 side sprints, and like, I don't even, it's just like, it's kind of randomized in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Overall, like I said, it does make for an extremely in-shape athlete, and I do have a lot of friends who do it, so I give full respect to the athletes who do CrossFit. Let's see, what are your, how many days a week do you recommend to get your arms big? Once. Train arms once a week. They're a small muscle group, less is more. What's a good diet plan to increase muscle size? I can't really give you a good diet plan. I mean, what works for me is not necessarily going to work for you, but what you have to do is just work on, number one, getting your calories up. You need to be in a calorie surplus to gain size, period. Then you need to talk to a professional or figure out for yourself how to calculate what your macros need to be based on you. Like in what your carbs should be, what your protein intake should be, what your fat intake should be, because that's going to be different based on the person and the goal. So, top 5 bodybuilders that inspired you to lift. Ronnie Coleman, number 1. Ronnie Coleman, 2005. My favorite physique in the world. Don't even want to hear it. Don't even want to hear it. Loved him. Let's see. Not necessarily in any order, just random top 5. Alexei Lusukov is my favorite physique right now because he's so young and he's genetically amazing. Lee Priest, I love Lee Priest. Flex Wheeler, insane physique. And obviously my man Arnold Schwarzenegger. Again, not necessarily in that order. Let's see. How can I increase muscle mass with only 3 days available out of the whole week? Actually, a 3-day split is amazing. You can do a lot with that. And in fact, I've just spent the last 2 weeks in New York filming a full training program that I spent all year, both training with professionals all over the country and doing a whole lot of studying and getting certified and all that. Basically putting together the ultimate program that I'm going to use myself to finally turn around these weak points of mine. That's going to incorporate both muscle hypertrophy and strength training, but it's going to do it in a 3-day split. It's not going to take up 6 days of your week like the fat training program does, which is a great training program, but it takes up like 6 days of your week. Let's see. Good lower lat workouts. Check out my back video. Really, I mean, you can't focus on like lower versus upper. It's just your latissimus dorsi in general. You just need to activate them all the way through, top to bottom. What motivates you? You guys, honestly, my team, if I'm slacking or I'm not into it, I'll go on NWB. You guys are always posting about bodybuilding and fitness. You can't help but stay motivated. That, and I want to change the sport around. I want to bring it out into the mainstream, so I have big dreams. That keeps me driven as well. What are your thoughts on the paleo diet? And if I'm pronouncing paleo diet wrong, sorry. But I'll admit I don't know the diet inside and out enough to make an actual statement, so I'm not gonna make one out of ignorance. What I will say is the little bit that I've looked into it on, I didn't care for it, which is why I never bothered to look into it even deeper. So I don't know, I can kind of tell you something. Tim Drawrent, my man, what was your biggest setback or injury for lifting, and how did you come back from it? Any advice? Because you lose a lot of muscle strength, blah blah blah. Basically, to sum up a paragraph, Tim, who, long time NWB, I recognize you, my man, is basically just asking, you know, you lose a lot of size, a lot of strength, you get set way back if you hit an injury. What's the worst I've had? There's been a lot, man. I got really sick last summer. A lot of you guys remember that. I got way down to 100. I went from 190 to 169 pounds in like 2 weeks. I got really sick, and that's kind of why my off season wasn't as productive. I've gotten injuries in my elbow, wrist. I mean, I used to do fighting, grappling, wrestling, boxing, and I've injured almost everything, you name it. So, I mean, really just try to eat, try to keep your eating up as much as possible, and then just let yourself rest. You can't rush it. I mean, whenever you're good to go again, you can go again. Oh, guys, I'm kind of rushing through these because there's a lot of questions, but if you want me to talk about anything specifically more, like make a full video on one of these subjects, let me know in the comments. Kelly says, you look hot. Thanks, Kelly. Carlton, ways to add inches to your arms. Eat, train, repeat. What about eating? Nah, actually, I'll give you a little more of an answer than that. Focus on the squeeze at the top and a real slow negative with arms. That's the key because they're a slow muscle group. And lift heavy and eat big. What about eating 30 bananas a day? What about eating 30 bananas a day? That's a lot of carbohydrates. Let's see, Lisa. My guess, he doesn't think about his haters. I think you tried to combat sport the other day. Oh, I think you tried to combat sport the other day. Thoughts on effectively doing both lifting and martial arts? Oh, so basically asking my thoughts on incorporating lifting and martial arts. You have to have that balance because obviously martial arts, well, it depends on what types of martial arts you're doing. Some martial arts obviously comes down to just pure technique, being in that meditative state. Other forms of martial arts obviously requires you to be loose, much more limb, so like you can't get real bulky and do it, but like you gotta have that good happy medium. Let's see. Favorite workout songs, dude. That list is way too long. I like anything from like Waka Flocka Flame to like, dude, anything. You name it. You name it. Speed metal, death metal, grunge metal, gangsta rap, trap music, anything. Eminem. It does not. It varies. Tyrone Jackson, my man. You're gonna do a bodybuilding comp with CJ and Ogus, dude. I don't want to embarrass Matt Ogus like that. Honestly, dude, Matt and Chris Jones are freaking ridiculous with their genetics. So, probably not. But then again, I might. You never know. Because last off season was also really unproductive. So I came with a package this year that really wasn't accurate. Well, I mean, it was accurate. It was me. It was what I brought. But I'm saying, give me a good productive off season this year, which I plan on doing. Things could switch up, but I mean, we'll see. Could be fun. Joshua D. Loomis, why do you use hashtags on Facebook? Because I'm a boss. Guys, Nick Wright Bodybuilding, I got to cut it off here because it's just way too many questions and they're starting to get repetitive. However, I will jump back on and continue answering more questions. You guys want to keep doing this, go to Nick Wright Bodybuilding on Facebook and just hit me up. Right in the info box, baby. Subscribe now.